Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Red Dead Redemption 2 video, I'm going to be showing you guys some super easy and helpful tips and tricks about being the best collector in Red Dead Online, including some things you might not have known about. And probably the biggest thing we'll be discussing today is how you can find all of the collectibles for free. Playing cards, the flowers, the bird eggs, almost everything you can collect for Madame Nazar and sell for a set can be found for free without having to purchase a single thing. So let's talk about that first. Even though we've only had roughly a day or two with these roles, at first I thought that you had to purchase maps from Madame Nazar in order to find out where the items are. Now, that turns out to be not true for one big reason. All of the collectibles that you need to find are static. That means that their location on the map for one person is the same for another person. And you guys should try this for yourself. Any of the collectibles you see me find in the background gameplay that you see on the screen, go to those locations and see if you find the exact same items there. So what that means is that eventually these items will be able to be mapped out. You'll be able to find where all the bird eggs are, where all the flowers are, where all, the coins and the arrowheads and the antique alcohol bottles, you'll be able to find them. Now, because we've only had the collector for about a day, obviously not all of them have been fully mapped out, but they're in the same location for every single person and they don't change, which means that over time, you'll be able to collect all of the items that make up all the sets without having to purchase a single map from Madame Nazar. And the reason that's great is because the maps you have to buy from Madame Nazar are pretty expensive, anywhere from $15, $20 to $25, which is ultimately going to eat into your profit. And I thought originally that was the only way in which you could find the items because I thought they were going to be dynamic, but their locations are static, which means they are the same for everyone. Now, the only thing that is going to prevent you from completing some of these is collectibles that might be locked behind things you have to purchase, like the Pennington field shovel and the metal detector, and even the new binoculars that make the dig sites easier to find. So that's going to be the only way in which you'll be able to find some things like the family heirlooms and the rings. But once you've purchased those items, it's going to make your life so much easier finding all of the various collectibles. And again, once people start to find them and map them out, it's going to make finding them a breeze. And the collector, I changed my mind here. Now that I know this, it might become the most laid back and profitable role in the entire game. Now, building off of that, if you don't want to go around to various locations trying to find them, have no fear. These collectibles actually drop as random loot. So the other day, I was doing a ton of bounty hunter missions, and the reason I like the bounty hunter missions is because usually your target has a bunch of other NPCs like surrounding them, and I just started looting them, and I started to figure out that every time I would do a bounty hunter mission, I would end up collecting like 2 valuable collectibles, whether that's a tarot card or a set of alcohol bottles or whatever the case might be. A lot of the random loot drops that you'll now find on NPCs will be part of the Madame Nazar collectibles and collections that you need to gather for her. So honestly, even when you're doing something like a bounty hunting mission, or even if you're just doing a random event that might have a lot of enemy NPCs around you, looting all of them could mean that you get a ton of collectibles. And sort of a side note to that, one of the things that Rockstar actually updated in Red Dead Online with this DLC is they have made not only movement, but also looting much faster. Just look at the looting I'm doing right here. My character just sort of leans over and picks it up. It isn't that long, drawn-out process that it was before this update. So basically, long story short, do not purchase any maps from Madame Nazar. Know that all the collectible locations are static. In fact, you can find most of them from random loot drops, and I've even heard that one of the new like free roam events. I think it's called like Scavenger, something like that, is really great for collecting a lot of the items you need for Madame Nazar. So just keep that in mind right there. Now, moving on, if you're like me and you've been having trouble finding some of the collectibles in the areas in which they're found, well, I've got some tips and tricks that will make your life a little bit easier and certainly helped me. The first thing is to kind of use common sense. So if you're trying to find the alcohol bottles, well, those are for the most part going to be inside, for the most part located either on tables or in kitchens. However, if you're looking for flowers, just know that that's obviously going to be on the outside. And things like the tarot cards are usually on little side tables, barrels, benches, or seats. Things where you would typically find cigarette cards from single player, that's where they are located. So a little bit of common sense will help you out there. Also, when you get close to the item, your controller will start to vibrate. So if you don't play with controller vibration on, I would highly recommend that you turn it on, especially for a collector, because it will really start to help you out. And if you also use Eagle Eye, that will help you out a lot too. So the collectible that you're looking for will have this gold glow coming around it, and there will also be sort of like this broken glass chime sound that you will hear when you get close to it. It really does help. This is something I was struggling with for a good bit, but after I started using these tips and tricks, it allowed me to find these collectibles a whole lot easier. Now, one thing you guys need to be aware of, if you do end up using the maps or you open one from Madame Nazar, make sure you only open them one at a time. Otherwise, you will lose the map. This is a huge warning. I found this out the hard way the other day because I actually got like a bonus map from Madame Nazar in the mail, and I opened it and I lost the other map. Like, it completely vanished. So I don't know if this is done intentionally by Rockstar or if this is a glitch or if you can only supposed to have one map out at a time, but make sure you've completed all 3 of the gold circle locations that the map tells you to go to before opening a new map. Otherwise, you will lose them. Now, speaking of that random loot we were talking about earlier, sometimes you'll just get normal items from looting NPCs, whether it be rings or watches or golden teeth. Well, it looks like that the sell prices of jewelry like that has been increased. So now if you find random jewelry like that, just know that by selling it, you're going to get more money. And what's also great is you can sell items like that to Madame Nazar. So not only does she act as the source of our collectibles and our collections, but you can also sort of use her as a fence too, being able to sell items her way to get a little bit of extra profit. Now, speaking of Madame Nazar, one thing you might not have known about is that she actually moves around the map. So yesterday, I think she was close to Moonstone Pond. Now I think she's like south of Blackwater or something along those lines. So she actually moves every single day. In fact, yeah, now she's actually by the McFarlane Ranch, just south of Thieves Landing. So I guess every day she's going to be moving. You can just find her location on the map. But in case you, for whatever reason today, went back to that same spot as yesterday and were like, where'd she go? It's because she ends up moving around the map. I guess this is kind of cool. Rockstar sort of made her a traveling gypsy, so I guess it makes sense that she would bounce around to various parts of the map. And last but not least today, I don't know if this has anything to do with the collector, but it does have something to do with the treasure map, so I figured I would include it in this video. It seems as if Rockstar added a bunch of like new dynamic events that feature treasure maps. Like, for example, I was doing some trader stuff the other day, and I ran across this treasure map that was like nailed to this tree, and it had a bunch of like wind chimes surrounding it and charms. So I'm pretty sure that this is brand new because I've never seen that before, and it indeed was like a new treasure map that I could go and find. So that's pretty awesome. And apparently you can also find treasure hunters around the world, like NPCs, that will allow you to purchase treasure maps for like $5. That's pretty cool, something I didn't know about, and it adds to the sort of dynamic nature of the world. And again, no, I'm not sure if this has anything to do with being a collector, but it does have something to do with having treasure maps. So again, I figured I would include it in this video. But that's all I've got for you guys in this video today. Those are some tips and tricks on how you can become a better collector, get all the collectibles for free for the most part, and some things you might not have known about. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Do you know of any other tips and tricks as far as being a collector goes that we did not feature in this video today? If you guys did go on to enjoy this video though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And be sure to subscribe if you guys are new or you want to stay up to date on all the latest Red Dead Redemption 2 Frontier Pursuit update videos that I'm going to be doing here on my channel over the next couple of weeks and months. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.